Hi, Derek. All right, I'm going to do your 30-minute spiritual healing now. So, we're going to focus in on helping you raise your vibration, helping to release energy blocks. You have a really, you shared some wisdom about your spirit guides. There's two that you talked about. And this one, Henshin-san, he really resonates with Reiki energy, and you can access him best when you're vibrating at your highest levels. And you really want to keep working on that. You really want to continue to develop your relationship with him. So this other Amram is what you call him. He had indicated that he's going to be moving on soon. And so we're just going to kind of see what comes up here. Maybe they'll enter into this experience. You dabble in Reiki, say, and it's sort of that spiritual realm that always brings you back onto the spiritual path. You shared a lot with me. I'm just gonna relax and then we'll get started, okay? Okay, I'm entering into your energy field here. I see a man standing straight. You're kind of at an angle looking off into the distance. There's sort of a bubble energy around your midsection, and there's sort of a different bubble around the head region down here to shoulders. So bubble region around torso, and that's what I'm looking at right now. You're also kind of in a massive bubble, and there's an odd, it's like a rotation is going on, although I don't see you actually rotating. There's more to this schematic than what I'm seeing, because it seems like there's some sort of rotation going on around you, or you are rotating, but I'm not seeing you rotating at all. So I'm just going to keep watching you. It's kind of sci-fi. It's kind of like super outer space looking kind of scene. Man standing up straight, has this sort of bubble energy here, bubble energy there, bubble around him. Things going this way, things going that way. Yeah, so this is there's something of a frozenness, a stillness to this. Even eyes having like ice over them, and want the ice wanting to melt so you can have real tears. But it never melts. There's something feels really frozen or stiff in the way you're standing, but it's also because you feel frozen. Something feels a little bit vulnerable in the way the energy is right now. I'm seeing something really thin, like it's going to break. It's overwhelming me to experience it. I don't know how to describe what it feels like, but it feels like underlying fears. It's the only way I could describe it. And it has a way of making my hands feel my head feel light, my hands feel, and it feels scary. It feels very scary for me right now. So I'm just going to be patient. It doesn't mean necessarily you're going through anything scary. It's just some sort of shifting energy in your spiritual atmosphere creates that type of caliber energy. What is it? I don't know if it's ego is altering its pattern. So when ego is tested, when we start raising our vibration and then ego is tested, ego can inspire fear, kind of fearful energies. So I'm just going to continue to explore it and see what happens, okay? Man, it feels like everything is really far away. It feels like where I am standing right now and where I want to be is so far into the distance. It almost feels like you'll never get there, but you know in your heart, it's very clear you know in your heart you are going to get there. And you yourself have a patient side to you. I'm telling you, this bubble thing there's more bubbles manifesting now. More bubbles in the torso region. They're kind of like, People have the sort of flat, smooth stones, and then you kind of stack them one on top of the other, and just keep them from falling over. But it's kind of like a Zen thing. I don't know. But you're starting to look like that because you have all these sort of bubbles manifesting now, like flat stones stacked on top of each other. I'm telling you, it really stinks, whatever this is. And it's like you're standing on time itself. There's something of the effect of a clock, and you're standing on, I don't know, the hour or the minute, I don't know what, but there's something of time and the movement of time, but it also feels like time is standing still. I'm telling you, you're kind of in between really wanting to let go of something very humanistic and not letting go of it yet. And I don't really get the impression that you know how hardcore this is in your spiritual atmosphere. I don't think your human consciousness knows exactly what is going on here. But me experiencing it in your spiritual atmosphere is just, there's a lot going on in your spiritual atmosphere. A lot of changes are going on, a lot of energy upgrades, or a lot of alterations in your pattern. And I don't know if it's hit your human consciousness or not, but things are changing for you big time. I am working on trying to dissolve those bubbles. Aren't necessarily, those shouldn't be there. I'm not really sure why those are there. I'm doing work to explore what they're about. Can I dissolve them? Do we need to make one bubble? How do we create the balance? So I am filling you with love energy. Love is the energy that creates the balance. Love is the energy that dissolves all barriers. Love is the creative energy. Love is the creative energy that assists in all areas of your life, of all of our lives. When energy gets out of balance, what do you do to bring it back into balance? You choose love. You love. You love yourself. You love your life. You love the moment. You love the challenge of attaining a higher frequency. You love everything. You love the stumbly times even. You love everything. Because love manifests love. Love manifests positive changes. When we choose to sort of sit in a corner and be in our, negative mind, where is that ever going to get us? It's just going to keep us in a corner feeling really low and bogged down and challenged by our own doings. But you got to let go of that. I don't necessarily think that you're dealing with any sort of mental body, emotional body type issues of that kind, but they're showing me that love, just be more loving. I think you are quite loving to begin with, but I don't feel that flavor of energy that you really need to focus on this necessarily. They're just really wanting me to enter more love in order to create the energy balance that you need right now, in order to attain what you are wanting to attain. I can't believe how quiet it is. It's eerily quiet. It's like the calm before the storm. When is it going to come? When is it going to happen? I'm channeling love energy into you, and I'm focusing on you, okay? There's some sort of energy blockage in the heart portal region. There's something interesting here. What would be like, I don't know, maybe a very consistent pattern. We don't always see all the ways that we can make ourselves better people, and sometimes life has to change in order for us to see different areas about ourselves that we can work on. This feels like it would be like matted, I don't know how you create, it's something, I don't know what the material is, but it's wet, and you kind of mat it and mesh it and creates like kind of a cool looking paper. But something of your behavioral patterns are sort of meshing or creating. Something needs to shift or change here about this gooey pattern that turned into paper. And then it's inside you. I don't know how else to define it. That's what it feels like. That's what it kind of looks like. That's what it's like. And it has to do with the behavioral pattern. I can't even believe everything that's going on here. There's more building, there's so much energy shifting going on with you. Everything keeps developing. There's more and more bubbles going on. There's more sort of energy. You're like a magnet towards certain energies that are really here to help you shift or evolve or go beyond. Some part of your humanness is still kind of on the forefront, and the energy work is doing all the work behind the scenes, so you may not be aware of it, but it's totally there. And it is going to absorb here. How do we get it to absorb? How do I get things to balance out? How do I deal with this meshy paper? How do I keep clearing out the blocks? There's so much going on. It's like, oh my gosh. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of neat. You don't see that every day. It's a good thing. It's kind of a strange it's kind of a strange thing, all this going on behind the scenes, but you've got a lot going on in your spiritual atmosphere right now. I'm just going to be patient. It's almost hard to keep up with it all. That meshy paper thing is hard to dissolve. I'm trying to pull it out of you. Part of it is self-awareness, though, too. Trying to get some feedback from my spirit guides on it. I'm going to try using Reiki on my own here. I'm going to try connecting with Hen Shun Sen and see what we can do together. I'm going to see if I could draw, if you could just watch this on a screen, where we began and now where you are. It's like so many things going on all over the place all of a sudden. Just slowly building to, wow, so many things to look at and figure out and try to make sense of and try to alter the pattern, but there's just more and more building. It's a good thing, but it's just, I'm still trying to figure out how to keep the balance right with you. Everything is always in balance, but at the same time, this is just crazy. So I'm using Reiki, okay? I'm stepping closer to you. I am actually touching you and all the bubbly things and all the weird spoticles and the meshy papers and the turning rotations that isn't actually turning, and the frozen eyes and the clockwork and the no time at all and the horizon and I'm going to enter violet flame beneath your feet and allow that violet flame then to surround you from your feet and go all the way up your body and then over your head. And I'm going to expand it so it's filling this whole scene and everything in it. Violet flame it all. So Violet Flame is doing awesome right now. there's some part of you, though. Okay, so I see basically I am allowing Violet Flame to sort of purify everything to help be the balancing mechanism. As I'm doing that, I'm exploring your mental body, which feels stuck. It's like frozen stuck. You're sort of in the frozen icy thing. I'm not sure what you're experiencing right now in your real life, but I'm just checking out mental body, checking out emotional body, because those are really the biggest ones. I always get taken to explore mental and emotional body, like heart portal and then mind region. And there's usually sort of a weird chords of different various imbalances that need to get balanced again. I don't know why there's such a frozenness around the thought region or the mind or the region. I don't know what this is associated with. I don't know what's going on with your human experience versus your spiritual experience, because there's a connection here between what this is about. Maybe you feel frozen in your human experience trying to go beyond with it, but you feel stuck. That may be part of what this is. Only you can decipher the meaning, but there is some part of your mental body associated with all your spiritual goals that feels stuck. And frozen, for that matter. It's not just stuck like a statue, it's also frozen. It's cold. It's turning to ice. It's crazy because I'm even getting cold. Like my hands, my body feels cold. Oh. I'm trying to get your mental body to talk to me. Everybody, I just keep hearing, just be patient. I'm doing everything right, but sometimes there's reasons why it feels a little more bumbly and not so fluid. But there is successful improvements constantly happening. I'm dedicating time and focus, and I am not going to waver. I'm going to keep trying. That too is part of the message. I don't know, is something overwhelming you? Is something shocking you? Is something startling you? I'm still talking to the mental body. I'm just lighting a flame, and I'm gonna light a violet flame within the mental body. So I just imagine your brain, your mind is the mental body, is what we would perceive as the mental body. A mental body is just an energy field. So I just light a flame within there to create activity, to create warmth, to create healing, to create energy of love, to get that something needs to be done here. So I'm going to try this. Henshan Sen just wants me to put energy in here, just like a healer would in the physical, placing hands over that region and then channeling energy into that region. Okay, so I'm just speaking the Reiki symbol names. Okay. Okay, there's finally some more activity going on. This thing is starting to talk more now. And I'm seeing a scene where you it's like you have a shark fin on your back, or I mean, there's some shark fin on you, and you're in a boat and you're driving on a water body. It makes me think of like there's something kind of Italy sort of feel to it. It's not like a gondola or whatever. It's a little miniature kind of speedboat. It's not a huge speedboat. It's kind of, I don't know, it's cool looking. It's not like a fancy sporty one. It's more like a rich old man's one. I don't know. It's like wooden and it's really polished and pretty, and you could only fit probably two people in this. It's not for, it looks kind of luxury, but it's not particularly big. But you have a shark fin on you and you're driving the speedboat. And there's beautiful sunny sky. It's interesting. You're going places, but yet you're not going anywhere at all. Again, this boat is a speedboat. You're a shark. You're like a man shark. You're driving a speedboat, and you're going nowhere. How fast can we go nowhere at all? Let's just see how fast this baby goes. Step on it. Step on it. How fast can we go nowhere? We're just seriously going nowhere. It appears like the wind is blowing, the tides are moving, we're going towards shore, but we're not going anywhere at all. You haven't actually moved an inch. That is irritating. That is very frustrating. I think I think we can all relate to times when it felt like we were moving at 100 miles an hour and feel like nothing is getting done. We're going nowhere. We're standing still. And we can't seem to move fast enough to get it all done. But there's some weird shifting with your balance, with your perception of time, and getting from this point to the next point in your life, and some part of you feels stuck, but this is actually kind of a wiggle worm thing that we're working on here. So the energy's flowing, and even if you could per se say that you're stuck, you wouldn't actually feel like you were stuck. You're starting to feel more like life has a flow or a balance to it, and even as standing in place is the flow and the balance, and you're actually going places, even if it doesn't feel like it necessarily. That's really the energy work we're doing here. It's really crazy. I'm just checking on every single thing I've been looking at here. I'm looking at those bubbles again. I'm looking at the violet flame. I'm still channeling energy into the mental body. I'm still looking at the speedboat. I'm still looking at everything here. This odd shark thing, man with like shark fin on back, is sort of merging with this part of you that has all of this sort of infinite type of movement of things going this way and that way, and sort of bubbliness is starting to build up. And he's merging with this part of you from this original scene. That inspires you to breathe. You actually weren't exactly feeling alive, or in your body, or present, or in the now, or not really sure where you are. It just feels like you're like a bookshelf, and that has been empty, and we're just putting more and more books into you. That's how much stuff is going on here. It just more and more stuff keeps going on here. Is that the balance? Is that the best? Is that what I mean, I am doing energy work to help you feel expanded beyond. I am growing you. So in this scene, just a normal sized man is now growing into a giant sized man. I'm growing you beyond your boundaries. So you have no boundaries. So you're expanded. So how many ways can we live life and feel like life is in a structure and we are bound to the rules of life? So I'm helping you to break all the structures or boundaries that you just naturally experience. This would be something in that sort of odd paper meshy issue, but that's starting to kind of just wiggle it, sort of dissolve on its own would be the only way to describe it, through these shifts and changes. So we're just growing you and expanding you, like blowing up a balloon and making it get really, really big. But there's no popping because there's no stopping you. There's no saying how big you can grow or can't grow. There's no boundaries. You're going to feel awesome after this energy work. I know it's kind of sounds stumbly and bumbly, but I'm doing a lot of stuff here. It's hard to just keep up language wise and explain everything going on. But I'm feeling such a massive difference between the now reflection and when I started. Something of the color orange. It keeps coming up, and I keep thinking about carrots too. And it's not so much the carrot as it is the color orange that is just, oh, you're starting to glow like this gorgeous orange color. Is it orange red? It's not quite red, but it is so impressively rich in orange. You seriously hardcore need oranginess. It's making me feel awesome. It's not a reflection of sunlight. I don't know how to define what the vibration feels like or means, but this color orange, you're glowing it all over the place. It's like it is the most vibrant, beautiful color. It's amazing to me. And it has a density or a thickness to it that's really undeniable. I just keep thinking of eating carrots, but not so much. It's just wanting to consume orange, wanting to be more melded or more aligned with orange. You're growing really well. You're feeling the growth. You're feeling sturdy on your feet. You're feeling grounded. You feel like you have a firm stance. They're really wanting to focus on expanding your mind. It really blowing up the comprehension of how far you can go. Don't get stuck with rigid thinking, and I don't think you necessarily do, but sometimes we don't realize that we don't realize some of the things that we do, but some part of your mental body feels like it's a solid ice ball, although that is really dissolving big time. And now that that's dissolving, the super orange is happening and you're expanding and you're going beyond everything else we've been seeing so far. Now the mind too has to grow. You can't just grow infinitely. You can't just raise your vibration without having to expand your mental body and your emotional body. All your bodies have to grow with you too. And you're going through some serious energy shifting. It may be right under your nose. You may sense some things going on, but there's a lot going on in your spiritual atmosphere. So I'm just super orange happening, continuing to expand you, but really expand the mental body reflection. And then pushing out some sort of, I don't know, really hard caked in rock that just kind of blasted out in the third eye region. And there's some more sort of in this triangle of wisdom here, the mental body wisdom or infinite wisdom. There's a lot kind of caked. There's a big sort of burst that came out here, but then behind that, front forward sort of area, inside here, there's more goo ball that needs to, but it's kind of more solid, structured goo ball. It's not liquidy or anything like that. It's a more built up sort of thing. There's a lot of dissolving type of work going on in your mental body. And just breaking structures of the mind and doing energy work back here and then on top, okay, of the head, and then back here as well. I'm just watching. We're really clearing out. Your mental body really needed this. There's more just junk and goo coming out of the back of the head region here. It's got more of a rockierness to it, which could be, old patterns. It just, what is the best, most solid structure we can create? The ones that we are sort of raised with become the most sturdiest foundational structures, and it's sort of the hardest ones to break. Our old habits, are hard to break. And so old habits can create really sort of rocky structures, and then how do you break those? You can energetically break those because you're ready to break them. You're ready to grow beyond. You're super ready to grow beyond. Oh my gosh. You're stretching your rubber band. You're definitely doing that. I'm just continuing to focus more on, the whole mental body area, this whole head region, infinite triangle, all of that. I'm growing, expanding, pushing crap out of there. Just really rocky structure kind of buildup going on in there. There's some rocky buildup too with emotional body in the heart portal region, just old clogs, just old feelings that need to be let go kind of thing. They keep showing me this meshy paper sort of creation is whatever was your original molding or belief system is being, you need to look at it and you need to release it. And this energy work is helping you to do that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what a repetitive pattern is. They aren't telling me, but they're just showing me that there's some sort of energy pattern that is really, it's coming to the surface. You're going to start seeing something about yourself that you need to take notice of, and then say, you know what, I'm ready to kind of work on this. I don't have a clue how to purge this or override this or get beyond this. But it's sort of coming to the surface so you can remove that sort of baby blanket, safety blanket style of living, remove that and expose something new so you can keep growing. So Henshan Sen, where he is and where you are in your human consciousness, I can see why you have a hard time reaching him. He is ready to help you break all of these sort of rocky old structures and get rid of the baby blankets of what would be a cozy sort of repetitious life pattern. So how do you change? How do you revolve beyond being a human being and then being into a spiritual human being, a more infinite version of yourself? You have to let go of the baby blankets. You have to let go of the old structures. How do you do that? Henshin Sen will help you with that. He really is helping you with that. And you are ready for this. You already knew that all along, but did you know that this was going on? So I'm just finalizing some last minute sort of rock breaking, helping finalize some last minute growth spurts and mental body sort of movement, helping to really push you up like a tree ready to grow really, really tall and big and strong and mighty. It's going to be an amazing time for you as you continue to go down this pathway. How you're going to be the man you're going to become, 5 years from now, for instance, where you are right now and where you're going to be in 5 years with this going on with you, you're going to look back and see you're going to be like, wow, I can't believe how much I've changed, how much I've grown, how spiritual I've become, all the different ways I have revolved beyond who I was 5 years ago. This is pretty cool. This is pretty big. So that's all I can share with you. Thank you so much for this experience. This was really neat to see all of the activity going on, and it's really neat to step into someone's spiritual atmosphere and see how all the energies are playing a role in helping you to ascend as a human being, helping you to awaken even more to who and what you truly are, breaking the old barriers or expanding beyond the realm or level you're at right now. It's awesome to see that. It's happening on its own, but it's really cool to be able to help really motivate that even more, help that energy continue to propel you upward even faster, just more motivation, more expansion, more of that positive energy. So that's all I had to share. Thank you again. I really enjoyed this experience. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in experiencing spiritual healing with me or psychic wisdom, please visit my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting my channel.